icebreaker speech. And that for our first-time visitors is your first prepared speech as a Toastmaster. So it's a big deal, and it's a lot of stress, but it's a learning. And our next speaker, we know is going to get through it. His name is Kaylan. Speech title is Ignorance, the True Enemy. Ignorance, the True Enemy. Kaylan.
Fellow Toastmasters and audience, thank you very much for the evening, and thank you very much for giving me the opportunity. My topic today is on ignorance is the true enemy. Before I dig into the topic, I would like to kind of introduce myself. My name is Kaylan, and I go with Cal. I have a bachelor's in engineering. I came here as a student for master's, and I work for Wells Fargo as a BI consultant. I've been in the IT industry for the last 12 or 14 years. So basically, to get into the topic, 4 years ago, my mom expired suddenly. She had a stroke. I was here in the US, and my mom is pretty close to me, and it happened all suddenly in the early morning, and it was a complete shock for me. I couldn't kind of recover for a couple of years. I got into drinking, I got into a lot of things. I think more of smoking. I woke up in the night. I used to get up in the night and cry. And it all, I think, the whole sequence of events continued. And I had to dig in myself to come out of this whole process of whatever the sorrow or the depression and whatever it is. So then I remember that after the cremation, we went back to a holy place where we sprinkled the ashes back in Varanasi in Kasi. So we went there, and then someone suggested going to a holy kind of place called Sarnath. Sarnath is where, if you've heard of Buddha, the great sage Buddha, he started his teaching in Sarnath. And we went there, and I think I just had a feel of all whatever I think he talks about, his teachings about suffering. And I took a couple of books, and I started reading a couple of books there. And his fundamental thing on suffering and what exactly is suffering, how to overcome suffering, how suffering can be overcome and cessation of suffering. He talks about a lot of things in suffering. And then he gives an idea about what are the eightfold path that you need to kind of take to kind of overcome suffering. So that had kind of given me a lot of encouragement, and even till today too, I think I keep reading those fundamental things about suffering and what exactly life is all about. So the more you realize on suffering and the eightfold, I really want to kind of read about the eightfold path that he kind of suggests. He says right understanding, right intention, right speech, right action, right livelihood, right effort, right mindfulness, right concentration. So I think he talks about a lot of stuff about all these kind of right things that needs to be done to overcome suffering. That's the eightfold path that he suggests. But in conclusion of my own story, I would like to say that my ignorance of not knowing about suffering has put me into the deepest pain of my, whatever the 3 or 4 years of pain that I've undergone through. So having gone through that ignorance of not knowing that someone did some real great effort in suffering, did great research on suffering, or you can call him a sage or whatever it is, but my understanding of suffering had really kind of got into a final understanding that ignorance is the true enemy instead of even the hatred and greed. So just like I think of, in the same way, I would like to conclude that Alexander the Great, I think he had conquered India, and I think he conquered the whole world. But his final conclusion was, you need to conquer yourself before you conquer 1,000 battles, or before you even win 1,000 battles. That's all about it. Thank you very much.